Most people are disciplined when it's convenient, when someone's watching, when there's a deadline, when the fear of embarrassment, judgment, or external consequences hangs over their head like a weight. They'll show up to the gym when their buddy's counting on them. They'll grind at work when the boss is breathing down their neck. They'll eat clean when the date's next week. But when nobody's watching, when there's no one to impress, no praise to be gained, no immediate punishment to avoid, most people fold. They let themselves off the hook. They skip the workout. They slack on the project. They spend money they shouldn't. They scroll their phone for hours and call it rest. And then they wonder why their life doesn't change. The truth is, the life you're building is determined by what you do when no one's watching. That's the moment your real character is revealed. Not in front of the crowd, not when the cameras are on, but in the silence of your own space, when it's just you in the mirror and no one will know if you cut corners. That's where discipline is forged. That's where winners separate from the rest. And the reason most people can't hold themselves together in those moments is because they've never learned the secret to making discipline stick when no one else is around. The secret isn't motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It's a mood, a fleeting state of mind that shows up when it wants and leaves without warning. If you're depending on motivation, you're already losing. Winners don't rely on motivation because they understand that discipline is built on structure, identity, and non-negotiable standards. The first part of this is structure. If you don't have a system for your day, your habits, your workflow, your nutrition, your workouts, you're leaving everything to chance, and chance favors the undisciplined. Structure isn't about being rigid or robotic. It's about eliminating the need for constant decision making. The more choices you have to make in a day, the more likely you'll pick the easy one. But if your workouts, your work blocks, your reading time, your meal prep, your study hours are scheduled, you remove choice from the equation. You don't ask yourself if you feel like doing it. You do it because it's on the schedule. And over time, this trains your brain to obey its own commands. The less you negotiate with yourself, the more disciplined you become by default. The second part is identity. Most people stay inconsistent because their actions aren't anchored to an identity they respect. If you tell yourself you're lazy, undisciplined, or a procrastinator, you'll act in ways that reinforce that belief. But if you decide you're a disciplined man, someone who honors his word, someone who finishes what he starts, your behavior will begin to match that identity. It's not fake it till you make it. It's act in alignment with who you've decided to be until that identity becomes undeniable. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you cast a vote for that identity. And the more votes you stack, the harder it is to break character. Winners aren't disciplined because they have superhuman willpower. They're disciplined because being undisciplined would be out of character. It wouldn't make sense for them. That's the kind of identity you have to build. The third part is non-negotiable standard. Most people treat their standards like suggestions. They'll eat clean when it's easy, work out when it's convenient, save money when there's extra, study when they feel like it. And then they wonder why their life stays stuck in the same place. The secret is making those standards non-negotiable. Not sometime, not when you're in the mood, every day, no matter what. You don't skip the gym because it's raining. You don't miss a work block because you're tired. You don't blow your budget because you're bored. You do what you said you were going to do because that's the standard, period. And the key to making those standards stick is reducing the friction between intention and action. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Plan your meals. Block social media during work hours. Whatever it takes to make discipline easier than quitting. The world isn't built for disciplined people. It's built for consumers, for comfort seekers, for the easily distracted. So you have to engineer your environment to give you the advantage. Another reason people fail to stay disciplined when no one's watching is because their why is too weak. If you're only doing something because you feel like you should or because someone told you to, you'll fold the moment it gets difficult. Your why has to be personal. It has to be rooted in something deeper than surface level goals. Wanting abs for summer isn't enough. Wanting a bigger bank account to flex isn't enough. You need a reason that keeps you moving when the motivation dies. Maybe it's proving to yourself you're not the weak, broken man you used to be. Maybe it's breaking the cycle of poverty your family's been stuck in for generations. Maybe it's building a life your future kids won't have to recover from. Whatever it is, it has to matter to you. It has to sting when you think about quitting. Because when it's 11 p.m., you're exhausted, no one's watching, and you've got every excuse to give up. It's that why that'll get you up and moving. The final piece of the puzzle is accountability, not to other people, but to yourself. Most people treat the promises they make to themselves like they don't matter. They'll say they're going to wake up early, work out, study, save money, build that side hustle, and then break those promises. The second it gets hard, and every time you do that, you chip away at your self-respect until one day you realize you don't even believe yourself anymore. You've trained your brain to expect failure from you. That's why you have to start treating your word to yourself like a contract, non-negotiable, final. If you said you'd do it, you do it. No one else might see it, no one else might care, but you will. And every time you keep that promise, you build trust with yourself, and that trust becomes discipline, and that discipline becomes self-respect. and that self-respect becomes confidence, and that confidence changes your life. The secret to staying disciplined when no one's watching isn't magic. It's structure, identity, non-negotiable standards, a deep personal why, and ruthless accountability. Most people won't do it because it's hard, it's boring, and no one claps for you. But if you can learn to master yourself in the dark when no one's watching, you'll be unstoppable in the light.